Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Brianna, as most of you know, and I wanted to share my law school experience with you all. So if you're interested in hearing about my law school experience and some helpful tips that I have for you all, then just keep watching. Okay, so to get into law school, you have to take an Lsat and do an application. You also have letters of recommendation and things like that. So first, you may want to think about where you want to be located. Do you want to be in your home state, or do you want to be somewhere that has the best program that you're looking for? So if you want to do international kind of, I guess, criminal justice or something like that, then you would look and research different schools to see what kind of programs and classes they offer. And that will help you decide what school is a good fit for you. If you're interested in something that's general that every school may have, like civil litigation or criminal law or commercial law, then you may just want to focus on schools that are the highest rank, or that kind of help you feel comfortable, a kind of environment that you feel comfortable in. If you want to be in a big city, or if you want to be in a rural area that helps you like focus when you're studying, then those are some factors that you should think about as well, along with, oh, what school is higher ranked or has a lot of prestige or a strong alumni network that will help you get a job. So those are some of the things that I thought about while I was applying to law school. And I wanted to be as competitive as possible. So I took my LSAT in June of my third year. So I just finished my third year, took exams, and during the summer in June, I took the LSAT. I wanted to do that because if I didn't do as well as I wanted and I wanted to take it again, it'll only be October. A majority of people take their first LSAT in October. But if you don't do well, then you have to wait all the way until December, while other people are already applying and getting accepted into law schools. So that means there are less spots and there is a smaller chance, or I guess a smaller opening, of you getting into the school of your choice. So I'm not saying that you won't get in or that you have to take the LSAT in June, but I wasn't as comfortable as I would have liked to have been in June, but I wanted to already have a score on the books for when I was applying to different law schools. And then when I took it again in October, they just updated my file. I got into the school that I thought would be the best fit for me. And I was very excited about that. So during the summer of my first year, I just prepared for what I, was told to expect. So I spoke to a few lawyers that I knew and kind of some people who were in the law school that I got into, and just asked them what they thought would be helpful. A lot of people don't ask for advice to try to figure out how to be successful in law school, and I think that is a huge mistake, because you come from college, you have this really high self-esteem, and you think like, oh, I'm smart, I got in here, so I'm just as smart as everyone around me, which is true. But there are a lot of people who are going around saying, oh, can you help me? What tips, what books, this and that? What do I need to do to be as successful as I can be during my time in law school? And I got advice from a few people that I thought was really, really helpful. So first, I would say brush up on your grammar. Read like a small book that kind of explains grammar and kind of like little things that you forget that you learned in like third grade that just kind of helps your writing improve a lot. Also, another book that I would recommend is Understanding Blue Booking. There's a citation book that you have to follow when you want to cite cases, if you want to cite, I guess, books, movies, newspapers, and there's a certain format that you have to follow. Like, I don't know if you know, I don't remember, is it APA or ABA or AMA? I don't know what it's called in undergrad. I don't remember, but there's some standard format that you're supposed to follow when you're citing to different authorities. And in law school, that is the Blue Book. The Blue Book is not as hard once you get into it and keep practicing, but it's definitely something that is foreign. It's just a new kind of process to learn. So I got the Understanding Blue Booking book, and that was very helpful in kind of breaking down like, oh, where does the space go? Where do you stop underlining? Just little intricacies like that that will improve your score when you are writing things in law school. So I also read a book that was basically about not writing like a lawyer, but trying to write in a way that is straight to the point and isn't, flowery. Sometimes when you write, it can be interpreted in many different ways. So there are certain ways that you can write and make little stylistic changes that will help you be more effective in your writing. And I was all about reading books like that during my time in law school. So if you guys want to know a few of those books, I don't really have them with me because I'm not at school right now, but I can try to list below some of the books that I have recommended to other people and books that I thought were helpful during my time in law school. So during my first year, I didn't really wake up early and leave the law school late during my first semester, but the second semester and the rest of my time in law school, I would wake up around 4:30, eat breakfast, get to school by 6 o'clock, do different readings, and kind of take notes on those readings, and then go to class, come back, review my notes and kind of fix them just to make sure that what I wrote I can understand a long time when I try to come back and review it. So I kind of am jumping all over the place, so I want to go step by step just to be as helpful as possible to you all. So first, it takes about an hour to read 10 pages and to take notes on those 10 pages. Especially in the beginning, it may take longer than that just because you're reading very dense material and you're not sure what you need to take notes on. So you'll go to class and you'll listen to your professor, and they may be very interested in the facts of the case. So if they're very interested in the facts, you want to take probably more notes on the facts, so when you're called in class, you kind of know the answer and you can just look down at your paper without having to flip through all of the pages. I also like to write notes in the margins of my books saying like, oh, this is the holding, this is the issue, and things like that. And I also print it out on a separate sheet of paper so I can refer back to what my notes are. And I thought that was very helpful. I also liked to go talk to my professor and probably in the first few weeks of school start outlining my material. You can find all kinds of material on outlinings. I'm not going to go into that because that will take forever, but I would outline my material and do practice problems on that information. Sometimes if I had more time, I would like to do flashcards to just say quickly what the holding and a few words, maybe like 3 words about what the case was about. So if I get a fact pattern that's similar to that case on my exam, I can kind of explain, oh, this is similar to this case and this is why it's important. This is probably going to be the outcome if this matter went to trial. So that's just kind of my first year and second year in a nutshell. Basically, you study. You may want to do study groups and work with other people who are in your same class in the same section, because there may be separate sections of people who have different professors, and different professors teach different ways, and you don't want to be prepared for a different professor's exam when you're learning something that's not similar to what they're doing. I don't want you to have to freak out and say, oh my gosh, you're learning something different, I don't know my material, because that's not helpful. Try to talk out your answers and what you've learned so you know that you're able to articulate the law that you're learning. Because on your exam, you don't need to talk like you're talking to a professor. You need to talk like you're talking to one of your friends who isn't in law school, or maybe like a client who you're trying to explain the law to. But if you have I guess an exam question that talks about murder, you'll say, this person stabbed this person in the heart. Their heart stopped. They are dead. So that, satisfies the element of being dead kind of thing. Like basically lining out to your reader everything possible. So that pretty much explains my first and second year. I know a lot of people during their first year do a journal. There's a law review. You may have like a human rights journal. You may have an environmental journal. You may have a woman rights journal. And you would do these different journals to kind of make yourself look more competitive. So during your second year, so during your summer of your first year, right after you finish, you'll probably have a blue booking exam, and you'll have an exam where you write some kind of thing about some kind of topic, and you'll get picked to be on a journal. Then you'll go on the journal, and during your second year, along with your classes, you'll have, I guess, journal meetings. I don't really know much about journals because I was not interested in that. I'm interested in litigation, and I thought that through my writing classes that I take, that will suffice for, being a good writer, or help me to cultivate my writing skills. During your second year, you also can do competitions. They let you do competitions in your first year as well. So you can do mock trial, which is you get a partner and you go against another team and you get like a fact pattern, you research the law, and you argue a case. You have witnesses, and there's a judge, which may be a student or a actual judge or a professor, who kind of tells you, who gives you pointers and tells you, you know, how to object and do things like that, which I think helps to prepare you for your second year summer. You can also do Moot Court, which is when you write a brief and then you argue the brief in front of a professor, in front of a student, or in front of judges and things like that. You have like negotiations, competitions, and client counsel, I think client counseling competitions, which are very helpful during your second year summer as well. So during my first year summer, I did a clerkship, which was not a real, you know, after law school clerkship, but it's being a student law clerk, which is when you write orders and do research assignments and kind of briefly summarize cases for the judge that you're working with, or the judges that you may be working with. And I thought that was very helpful in cultivating my writing and just kind of analyzing legal issues and things like that. So that's definitely something that I would recommend. And I would recommend doing it in an area where you want to live in, if you know. I know what area I want to live in. So I wanted to start as soon as possible, cultivating relationships and networking so I can have the opportunity to work where I want to work. Because I want to do litigation, I thought that during my second year, during the summer, I would kind of prepare myself and do trials and plea negotiations and things like that. So when I become a prosecutor or a defense attorney or whatever I may be interested in doing, I would be prepared. So during my summer, I did a lot. I did research, I wrote briefs, I wrote just kind of summaries of different cases to kind of help different attorneys that I was working with. And I just kind of helped them prepare, help myself prepare by looking at statutes and case law. And that's something that I think is very valuable for litigation. So if you're interested in litigation, then I would recommend working somewhere where you can practice law as opposed to just researching or writing contracts or something like that. Which, if you're interested in writing contracts, then go to a firm where you will be writing contracts. During your second year of law school, you get to practice, you get a third-year practice certificate, and you can practice during your third year as well, and until you get your bar results, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going into my third year coming up, and I am doing a clinic. There are a lot of different clinics that you can take. My clinic is scientific, so I have to do reading over the summer. Choose a clinic that relates to what you want to do or will help you cultivate the skills that you want to cultivate. So I am a Kaplan rep, and as a Kaplan rep, I try to get other people to sign up for Kaplan and to choose the classes that they think are appropriate for what they're trying to do. If you are in law school and want to sign up for my bar class, then leave a comment below and I will definitely help you walk through it. Also, you have to take you have to prepare documents for when you take the bar exam. So just to let you guys know, this isn't something that is urgent right now if you're just thinking about going to law school. But you take the bar exam, there's a character and fitness area where you have to send in documents about different things. You have to keep your file up to date. Like if you get a new speeding ticket or something like that, you need to let your admissions know so they can update your file. Let's see, what else? Yeah, I don't really know that much about those type of procedures because I haven't really started working on taking the bar myself. But yeah, you take a class during the summer. You basically do nothing but study for the bar exam the entire time from May until July when you take it. You may have a 2-day bar exam. You may have a 3-day bar exam. Some people, I think there's one state that allows you to waive into the bar if you take, if you go to law school in the state. Okay, so if you don't listen to anything else, this is basically my advice for law school. Take the Lsat in June of your third year, after your third year of college, because if you don't do well, you can take it in October of your last year. Apply as early as possible. Read books that help you improve your grammar and help you improve test taking that is specific for law school. When you study while you're in law school, if you want to study with people, make sure they are in the same class with the same professor as you are. Take as many practice problems as possible. Find out if your professor has any leftover exams or old exams that you can take over. Discuss it with your professor. Don't take someone else's word for what is true. If you have something separate in your own notes, in your own study guide, try to break down your study guides in simplistic terms, as simple as you can get it, so you're able to explain each element and get the most points possible when you're taking an exam. Also, do a journal if you want to do a journal. You don't have to, if that's not something that you're interested in, to do write on, as it's called at my school. And also, lastly, try to do something that gives you experience in what you're trying to do. So if you want to do litigation, try to do something with your third-year practice certificate during the summer before, or while you're in law school your third year. Just make sure you're getting a lot of different experiences to make you a well-rounded candidate for whatever you're trying to apply to job-wise. So again, I hope this video is not boring. I will try to do another video if you guys have more questions that I've not answered, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!